Jordan had always been the underdog. In school, he was never the fastest, the strongest, or the smartest. But he had one thing that made him stand out: a relentless spirit. Each setback was just another reason to try harder. He often remembered the words of his grandfather: "The last mile is always the longest, but it's also the most rewarding." These words echoed in his mind as he faced his greatest challenge yet: the city marathon. Unlike others, he wasn't running for medals. He was running to prove to himself that he could push beyond his limits. Training was grueling. Early morning runs in the freezing cold, strict diets, and a constant battle against his own body's fatigue tested his resolve. There were times his legs felt like lead and his lungs on the verge of collapse, but giving up was never an option. On the day of the marathon, the city buzzed with energy. Each participant had their own reason, their own story. For Jordan, it was about inner victory. The race began, and he maintained a steady pace, ignoring the faster runners zooming past him. The cheers from the crowds were motivating, but he kept his focus. As the miles stretched on, he felt the familiar pangs of exhaustion. His mind wandered to moments of doubt, of every failure he had endured. But with each memory, his grandfather's words brought him back. When he reached the 20th mile, his legs wobbled and he felt dizzy. Medical personnel along the route asked if he needed assistance, but he declined. He kept reminding himself that the last mile was the most crucial. Approaching the final stretch, his vision blurred, and every part of his body screamed for relief. But then he saw the finish line banner. Spectators on the sideline noticed his struggle and began to chant his name. With each step, the chants grew louder, merging into a wave of support. He rode like a surfer catching his final wave. Fueled by adrenaline and the collective energy of the crowd, Jordan pushed through the pain. Crossing the finish line, he didn't win any medals, but he won something far more valuable: self-belief. Kneeling on the ground, gasping for breath, tears mingled with sweat. He realized that the last mile, though the hardest, was also the most transformative. He had lived up to his grandfather's words and, in doing so, discovered a strength within himself he never knew existed. Jordan walked away understanding that true victory isn't measured by accolades, but by overcoming the obstacles within.